Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to another episode of the Dallas Wings, my WNBA franchise here on NBA 2K26. We're going to jump right into the action here to begin today's episode where the 5-21 Dallas Wings play the reigning champions and the 14-10 New York Liberty, who have had a very up and down season as the defending champs. They won the Commissioner's Cup this year, but are only sit at 14-10, so they're looking to start to get back to that dominant form. If you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more MyWNBA content as we start the scoring on the side of the Liberty with a Sabrina Ionescu point. And off the turnover, she gets her second basket of the night as it's already 4-0 Liberty. Next drive for the Wings, and it's an illegal screen by Seacrest, and it's not been a good start for Dallas with a couple of turnovers. And the Liberty looking to take advantage again. Here's Breanna Stewart, and Stewie will get it up and in. The two-time MVP, averaging 16.5 points per game this year. 6-0 now. Stewart from three, and she will knock it down. And the duo of Ionescu and Stewart are starting to get going early. Also, no Jonquilla Jones for the Liberty tonight. Right hand fracture for the next week or two. She is out, as well as Emma Misiman, the first-time All-Star this year, with a sprained left knee. Nonetheless, though, it's 11-0 Liberty as finally we get our first points of the night. After 3.5 minutes, it's a Lee Uru layup. 11-2 now. Bueckers with it. Step back long two. She's got it at the end of the shot clock. And Dallas puts together two straight point possessions. 27 points per game at home for Bueckers, by the way. Absolutely killing it as a rookie. 11-4 now off the pick and roll. Ionescu to Stewart again. This duo has been responsible for almost all of the Liberty points thus far. This is 13-4. Here comes Hines-Allen, though, getting inside, and Maisha Hines-Allen will kiss it off the glass. It's been good getting her back in the lineup after her early season injury, as Harris will then get a layup of her own. 13-8 now. We're doing a good job cutting into that 11-0 deficit, but Stewart with a fadeaway three knocks it down. What a shot by Breanna Stewart, the now 7-time All-Star as well. 16-8, bounce pass to Ionescu, who drives inside, and the 2020 number 1 overall pick out of Oregon gets the score off a nice pass by Natasha Cloud. She has really been a good supporting piece for this Liberty squad. But there's Ionescu to Stewart again. 20-8 now in favor of the Liberty. The champs look to be unstoppable. Here's Bueckers at the three-point line. Gonna wait for the screen from Uru to her left. She fades that way and knocks down the three. Paige Bueckers, this year's number 1 overall pick, with a couple of scores. And here she is getting right to the rack, where it's now a 7-point lead for the Liberty. 22-13 now. Bueckers step to the left. She knocks it down, and Paige starting to heat up. 7-point deficit. There's a nice miss forced. Diamond Miller now with the rebound as the second unit starting to get into the game, and Miller will take it right to the rack herself. I've mentioned this a few times. Diamond Miller running the second unit has paid off, I would say, thus far, as after a quarter of play, it's 24-19 in favor of the Liberty. After going down 11-0, that's not bad. We only trail by 5 after weathering the early storm. Into the second quarter we go. Here's Miller in the paint, and she will score off a nice pass by the rookie James. 3-point deficit now as Sundell hits a three, just buries it right in the defender's face, and we're tied at 24. Now on the next possession, Giesel Solder with a mismatch. She will score, and the Wings have the lead. After going down 11-0, they take a 2-point lead here in the second quarter. What fight from Dallas. Ionescu back in, though, and she knocks down a three. Named her 4th All-Star appearance this season, and the Liberty have the lead once more. 27-26. Nice pass to Talbot inside, and that's Stephanie Talbot, the former Los Angeles Spark, off the nice pick-and-roll pass. 3-point deficit. Paige trying to get it back with this shot, and she will. Tied up at 29 apiece thanks to Paige Bueckers. A nice pass from James again. 29 all. Gardner gets inside, and she goes up and over at Tyasha Harris. That is Rebecca Gardner, the former Chicago Sky, as the Wings call the timeout. Cloud off the screen this time. She knocks down the triple. Natasha Cloud, the former Mercury, gets it done from deep. Next possession here for the Wings. It doesn't look pretty, but Lee Uru is able to hit the hook. 34-31 as here's Cloud again off the screen. Knocks it down. Almost the exact same carbon copy from a minute ago. Averaging 7.9 points per game is Cloud this year. But one of her expertise is the defensive side. She's been locking up Paige Bueckers for the most part today. That is a stop Lee Uru from hitting her first 3 of the season. Go Lee. As it's now 37-34. Ionescu, though, putting Harris on skates, finds Stewie. What a pass from Ionescu to Stewart. Brianna Stewart leads the way for the Liberty. 39-35. Harrison gets the pass, but nobody covers Cloud, and she drives right to the basket with a nice cut. 41-35. Just bad defense as both take the ball carrier. Stewart now in the low block, working against Uru. She spins off of her. It's an and one. Can't take Brianna Stewart like that. The 6-time All-WNBA first-teamer with the bucket as we go to the end of the first half. And Liberty lead this one 43-35. A better quarter for New York, who are shooting over 50% on the night, thanks to 16 points from Stewart, while the Wings are led by Paige Bueckers with 12. But it's been a hard-fought 12 for Paige. Like I've said, Natasha Cloud has blanketed her tonight as the Liberty are having their shooting guard Bueckers. We begin the third quarter. Here's a handoff for Ionescu, who pulls from 3 and knocks it down. Sabrina Ionescu, 11 points in the first half, has the first 3 here of the second. Double-digit lead now here for the Liberty as it's a handoff for Paige. And again, good defense by Cloud. She just pulls from mid and she knocks it down. That's just a good shot from Paige. It was good defense by Cloud. And speaking of Cloud with good defense, here she is intercepting the inbounds pass, and she takes it right to the rack. I know Stewart's leading the team with points, but I'd honestly say Cloud's been the more beneficial player. Segrist inside. Nice pass to Uru, who gets the foul from Harrison. Good pick and roll there. From Segrist to Uru is a little bit of exchange there between the players. 5 minutes to go here in the third. Nice pass to Lee again, who gets inside. And Uru's had a really solid game. 12 points in 19 minutes. She's doing a good job on the glass. 51-44. There's a miss. Cloud, though, gets her own rebound, and she will finish. Just scrappy and hard fought is Natasha Cloud. 9-point lead here for the Liberty. Here's a pass over to Harris, and she will score up over Cloud for the layup. 53-46 now. Hines goes for the steal. She misses, and that allows Gardner to get inside. You go for the steal and miss. That allows the easy lane. 55-46. Isaiah James off the screen gives it to Uru, who's been running a much better pick and roll today. There she is again, getting the fruits of her labor. Sundown now inside. She drives and scores, and Sabrina Sundell has been really good as backup point guard, I would say, this year. Here she is sharing the floor with Bueckers, as there's a nice pass inside, though, for Stewart, who gets the score, and after 3 quarters, it is 59-50 in favor of the Liberty. Only down by 9 going into the final quarter. The Wings have hung in there, but we'll see if they have enough to overtake the defending champions, as there's a steal by Talbot. Off a poor pass from James. Gardner on the other side gives it to Johannes, who gets up underneath the block attempt. As there are wings flying all over the place, no pun intended. As Marina Johannes with the score. Nice bucket there on the other end by Gisela Solder. Cuts it to within a single-digit lead again. The Liberty trying to get it right back as Talbot hits the shot. It's 63-54. Sundell this time for 3. There's a miss. Rebounded by Talbot. As the Liberty now looking to push the pace. Johannes at the 3-point line. She will drive to her right. Nice pass to Talbot on the pick and roll. Beautiful pass by Marine Johannes. It's a 65-54. Starters coming back in, including Paige, who gets right to the rack. 18 points for the night for her. As here she is going for 20. No, she gives it up as the ball's on the ground. Ends up in the hands of Gisela Solder, who scores. That was ugly. But it works out, and it's only a 7-point deficit. 5:45 left to go in this game. Talbot being guarded by Miller. Ionescu gets deep inside, and she toasts Paige on the low block. Paige has got some growing pains on defense, I would say. Hasn't been the best defender in the low post. As James for the mid-range gets a miss, as Gardner will grab the rebound, and Rebecca Gardner finds Harrison, who gets behind the defense on the good back. And Isabel Harrison will score, the former Chicago Sky, who spends 4 years with the Dallas Wings. 69-58 your score. Ionescu being guarded by Bueckers again, gets inside, and she will go right back to Paige on the low block, just taking advantage of what she sees as the mismatch right now. Another miss for the Wings. This time seems to be slowing down. A little 3-minute drought here for Dallas. It's Lainey Hamilton's turn. She gets by Paige, and she will score. Benijah Lainey Hamilton, the 2020 Most Improved Player of the Year. And that'll do it for this one. The Liberty win this game 76-65 as the Wings drop to 5-22 on the season, while the Liberty will improve to 15-10. Overall, tough game for Dallas, but we were just overwhelmed. And this is the first of 3 meetings against the Liberty in the next 2 weeks. So we'll really get to know this team, and hopefully we can get to know this team and find the weaknesses. Here's a look at the box score for the Wings. Paige led the way with 20 points, but not the most efficient night from the field. Leroux had 17 and 8. Thought was pretty impressive, while Ionescu led the way for the Liberty, but again, not the most efficient. I thought Cloud had the best game. 12.6 rebounds, 4 assists, and shot pretty well. The other game on the day was the Storm dominating the Sun, as it looks like the clouds are more important than the sunlight in this game. And the next day, the Dream will beat the Valkyries, and the Sky continue to win. They beat the Mystiques and the Sparks over the Aces at home in LA, as it was Cannon who led the way by 23 to help beat the Aces. Our next game is against the Dream. We'll play this one as well, our first matchup against Atlanta this year, who are 14-12. And we'll get to look at a lineup that I think is got some underdog potential if they make the playoffs. Here it is, our first meeting of the season against the 14-12 Atlanta Dream, while the Wings come in 5-22 on the season. Here's a look at both lineups. Dream are actually fully healthy. Nobody on the injury report for them. Well, of course, we don't have Arike Ogunbowale on the report, as we'll see what the Atlanta Dream look like in our first meeting this season, as the tip is won by Atlanta. We are underway in this contest, as here's the first point of the game. It's a pick and roll to Brittany Griner, the number 21 overall pick back in 2013 at a Baylor. And the Dream are off to a hot start, as there's another layup on the next possession. Quick steal now from the Dream defense as it returns into points. As Alicia Gray, the 3-time All-Star, gets it up and in. And Atlanta's off to a hot start. We've seen this quite often out of the Wings. They give up hot starts to the other team coming out of the opening tip-off. As all of a sudden it is 8-2 as Brittany Griner, the 10-time All-Star, puts it up and in. A cold shooting night here for the Wings. You can see 1 for 8 from the field and another turnover. It's Alicia Gray again who pops from 3 and knocks it down. And just like that, it is 11-2. This is just like the Liberty game from the first half of the episode. Bueckers then scores up and in at the basket, making it 11-4 now. As next possession here for the Dream. Here is Brianna Jones, the former Sun, getting inside and scoring over Maddie Segrist. Now a 9-point lead here for the Dream as Harris gets a pick and roll. A deep 3 by Tyasha Harris knocks it down. Another former Sun on our side this time for the 3 ball as Lopez Seneschal then knocks down a 2. And right now it's 15-9 as the Wings try to get back in this contest. But Ryan Howard from straight away, 2022 number 1 overall pick out of Kentucky, knocks it down as we were 18-9 after 1 quarter of play. Fast quarter because a lot of missed shots, specifically on the Dallas side. A single-digit quarter from the Wings is something we haven't seen in quite some time. Hopefully we can get out of this early rut. Miller on the pick and roll finds Giselle Solder at the basket, and she has just been so good since coming back from her early season injury. Been sorely missed. Howard, though, from 3 misses. Hillman with the rebound, and Naz Hillman will put it up and in. She's averaging 7.4 points per game off the bench, as Howard then knocks down another 3. It's 23-11. James tries to respond with one of her own, and she does as the shot clock winds down. Now 23-14, but right back to double digits as Shatori Walker-Kimbrough, the former Mystique, with the backdoor cut. Now a 17-point lead here for the Dream, and make it 19 as Gray kisses it off the glass. 33-14, an ugly start, an ugly game, honestly, for the Wings. As Bueckers hits a long 2, so that one rattles in. She's averaging 23.5 points per game now on the season. Hines Allen then gets inside and finishes with the tough right, and the Wings try to chip away at this early Dream lead. Nice tip, but it ends up right in the hands of Griner, and well, that's just kind of how the night's been going. Lucky bounces for Atlanta, and that'll bring us to the end of the first half. The Dream lead this one 37-20. Wings getting dominated here at home in Texas. We'll see if the Dreams can continue that momentum into the second half. Honestly, we've played pretty solid defense. The Dream aren't shooting that good as well on their end, as they're only shooting 36% as a team, but we're shooting 25. It's been a tough go-around here for Dallas, as Hines Allen leads the way with 4 points for us, while it's Alicia Gray with 7 on the other end. Get into the second half now of this game as here's Bueckers with the basketball. The shot clock winding down as she will miss the mid-range 2. Rebound by Griner. As you can see, the Dream have dominated the glass here today. As Gray with a nice spin move and hits it and a 1. Bueckers gets her on the head. Beautiful play from Alicia Gray, who's shooting over 50% from the field this year. Oh, Griner with the block, and that's not a good sign as Hines Allen is down on the court. This is going to be the numbers game for the Dream, but Canada takes it right to the rack. But the bigger problem is Hines Allen grasping at her left knee. She battled back from her early season injury. She's been great back in the lineup. You do not want to see that if you're a Wings fan. Bueckers then will score on the layup. It's now 42-22, a 20-point game in favor of the Dream as to make it 22 as Hillman with a nice backdoor cut. She will get it up and in. They've doubled us up here in the third quarter as Seegers off the pick and roll will find Lee Uru at the point of attack. Keeping it a 20-point game as now Howard inside for Hillman. Drop step, she scores. She's been very good for the bench for the Dream this year as the Dallas Wings have no choice but to call a timeout. And then out of the timeout, we'll see what they can muster. Pass inside for Bueckers. She scores with the reverse layup. And again, consider that 20-point threshold. 5.5 to go here in the third. Howard from 3 misses, but Griner bullies you out the way and gets an and a 1. Brittany Griner, even at this stage of her career, still a force inside. Bueckers loses it at the basket. Canada now on the release, finds Howard in the corner for 3, and she knocks it down. It is 52-26. A 26-point lead for the Dream, now a 23-point lead. As Howard now breaks out the spin move, and Miller touches the pavement. That's a tough one. Hands on the court. It's 58-35, a 23-point lead after 3 quarters. And in my opinion, I've seen enough. This game has turned into a blowout here in Dallas. We're going to go through the entire fourth quarter as the Dream win this one 70-48. An ugly showing for the Wings here at home against the Dream. They just got dominated on both sides of the court. And they lose by 22 as the couple of fans left here in Texas are voicing their displeasure. Tough game from Dallas. Obviously, the offense was not there. We shot 30% from the field. Again, the Dream only shot 36 and 18% from deep. But when you can't score the basketball yourself, there's no way you're going to win this game. Bueckers led the way with 12 points. Uru had 16 rebounds, but very inefficient day for everybody on the team. And it results in us getting our 23rd loss of the season. The Dream, they look like a really complete team. Griner is a force down low. Ryan Howard is a shooter, despite only going 5 for 23 from the field. And we get the bad news that Myisha Hines Allen will be out for the next week or 2 with a twisted left knee. Your other scores, we see the Mercury beat the Fever and the Liberty beat the Lynx. But we do get Arike Gugumbawale back, which is nice, so she is fully healed, as well as the Mystiques knocking off the Valkyries. With the Gumbawale in the lineup and Hines Allen hurt, Bueckers is going to play a lot more of the 4 going down the stretch as we try to get our best players on the court. And that doesn't help us against the Fever. We get blown out in this one too, 77-55. The shooting continues to be a problem. We only had 17 first half points. Other scores around the league, we see the Mercury knock off the Dream by 3, a good win for Phoenix. The Sky's winning streak comes to an end at the hand of Golden State. The Valkyries get a much-needed win. Despite Reese leading the way for the Sky, it was Amahir who led the way in points. The Liberty escaped Connecticut with a victory, and then we see the Storm knock off the Sparks before the Lynx beat the Aces. Other scores then, we see the Liberty knock off the Sun. The Mystiques get a win over the Dream. Watch out for that young Washington team. The Storm over the Fever, and then the Mercury knock off Chicago, who are now on a 2-game losing streak. And then the Valkyries beat the Aces. So it's been a tough second half of the season for Golden State, but they knock off a white-hot Sky team and a very good Aces team. Your players of the month are in for July. It's Brianna Stewart of the Liberty in the East and Asia Wilson in the West, while your rookies of the month are Kiki Irafin of the Mystiques and, of course, Paige Bueckers out there in West for Dallas. Our next game, we're going to have a rematch against New York as we will now face them at their home courts. Like I mentioned, we played them 3 times in 2 weeks. And earlier this episode, we lost to them 76-65, in case you missed that part. And hopefully we're looking to get revenge in the next episode as we get towards the end of the season. We're in our final 15 games of the year, and hopefully the Wings can finish strong. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you drop a like and you subscribe down below, especially if you want more MyWNBA content. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.